Everybody, it's John from Thrive. Right, today I'm going to share with you a little tool I've created that's going to help you create content quicker and, frankly, better. And what it will do is it will stop you from being distracted and attracted to all the shiny stuff that you see all these other content creators posting around. And you're going from 1 minute making reels, and then you're doing these fancy edit cuts, and then you're doing content type with hooks and you don't need to do all that kind of stuff. You just need to know that your messaging is reaching the right people. So I'm going to share with you this free tool as well. So if you want a copy of this, by the way, if you just send me a message or comment below or wherever you're seeing this, and I'll send you a link to download a copy of this. So it's what I call your mixtape. And the idea is that it helps you, as I've just mentioned earlier, stay consistent with your messaging. But two, it allows you to never run out of ideas. And I'll show you in a second how you can literally create over a month's worth of content in around about 10 minutes. And the content that you will create is something that's going to be really relevant to your ideal customers, especially if you've done the work on who they are. I mean, if you've not, probably stop and go and figure out how to do that first. So let's just jump into this. So as you can see here, this is what I call my mixtape. Your mixtape is my mixtape. And across the top, you'll see here that there are 5 things. Now, these are my 5 things. You would obviously be placing with whatever your 5 things or 3 things or 2 things are. And my 5 things in the way that I coach people is that I think number 1 is they need a plan. If you don't have a plan that tells you where you are now, where you want to go, and what's stopping you from getting there, it's going to be really difficult for you to leave where you are to go somewhere else if you don't know where that is to start with. The second thing is a product that people want. I think that a lot of the time we sell things that we think people need, and people don't buy that way. People buy the things that they want, they don't buy the things that they need. And so if you are trying to solve too many problems and you've got too many different offers, it gets confusing and people don't know what it is that you do. The next thing is marketing. How are you going to then get leads? How are you going to be able to position yourself out there to attract the type of audience that you want to work with? The next thing is sales. How are you going to convert them? How are you going to be able to take these leads and convert them into paying customers? And then finally, how are you going to measure it? Most of the clients that I work with that really dial in on the numbers, the business grows and it grows quick. The ones that struggle are the ones that don't really know what the numbers look like. They second guess the business expenses. They don't know how much revenue they're making each month. They don't know how much it costs them each month to create revenue. So they're the kind of 5 areas that I focus on with clients. Now, in terms of when it comes to creating content, there's 7 different topics that you can cover. So the first one, as you can see, as we go down the side, you've got rants. This is where you can kick off about something that is annoying you in your space, that's stopping your ideal customers from getting the things that they want. It could be a Q&A, so it could be like, these are the type of questions that I often get asked by my clients. It could be a how-to. So here is something that you can do to do this, this, and this, and it's going to get you this result. The next thing is a case study. We work with this particular client. This is the challenge that they faced. This is what we implemented, and this is the outcome that they got. It could be a tool. We use this particular tool. It helps us to do this, and it makes our life easier, gets us more results, gets us more leads, etc., etc. Mistakes. Here's a mistake that either I made or our clients have made. And once we've figured out how to stop making the mistakes, this is how life got. And then finally is a story wheel lesson. So it's like, this is something that I've been through. This is where I was. This is where I went through. Or it could be a story about your client as well. So when it comes to you actually creating the content, it's really straightforward. You pick which theme. So the theme is, for me, like I say, it's the numbers, it's the sales, it's the marketing, it's the product or the plan. So we'll say, for example, let's pick marketing first. Let's get a different color for this. We're going to go green. Let's say that marketing is going to be the thing that we're going to cover, and we're going to do a case study. So over here in this box here in the middle, this one, we'll think about what we can do that's going to be covering marketing and a case study. So we could say, for example, one of my clients, we'll give them a name, let's say Gary. So one of my clients, Gary, the challenge that he faced is that he was doing lots of different marketing. So he was trying to do some partnership marketing. He was spending money on Facebook ads, and he was trying to post organic content. So we were getting really confused because he was doing 3 different types of content. And so we're going to use a case study, and we'll say how we got rid of the 3 marketing errors that Gary was using, And we helped him to focus on one. It got him the consistent results, and now his business is gliding and flying high and thriving. So now we've got one piece of content that's created. Let's use a different colour, and let's go with an orange one. So we're going to do a rant. And the rant that we're going to do about is about numbers. So we're going to go over here on this side, and we're going to think about something that's going to really kind of great ideas. Now, one that I find a lot of coaches talk about this. And so a lot of coaches say that you should focus on profit, not turnover. And you might have heard the saying, profit is sanity, turnover is vanity. And while that's true, I think that it's only true to a degree. And what I mean by that is if your business is doing less than $1 million a year, maybe even 3 million a year and under, then profit's not the thing that you need to focus on, because the tax man is going to come and take a big slice of that. And let's be honest, your P&L never really tells the truth, does it? It's a bit of a myth. And what I mean by this is that if you look at your P&L, you look at it, you get your P&L, you sit down with your accountant, your bookkeepers, or whoever you're working with, and you look at it at the end of the year and you say, well, I've had a good year, we made 150,000 this year. But then you say, well, I don't know where it is because I don't have £150,000 in the bank. So where is the money? It's a bit of a myth. So if you focus on profit, which I think you should once you get to a certain size, then it's always going to leave you feeling disappointed. And the taxman is going to be always coming out with his hand saying, we want some of that profit as well. Whereas if you focus on turnover in the early stages of financial growth in your business, like I say, 1 million to maybe 3, then you can reinvest the money into the business rather than focusing just on the profit side. And by reinvesting it into the business, it allows you to scale. And I think that one of the things that I see a lot of companies struggle with is to try to scale too soon. So a business really has to launch, and then it grows, and then it starts to scale after there. And I think a lot of the time, if you try and scale a business that's not got stable foundations, and you've not got the right systems and the right teams and everything in place, it's going to come crashing down. So really it's about making sure that you're in the right place to do that. I think that when you're that 1 to 3 million or under mark, it gives you a fantastic opportunity for you to make sure that you've got them foundations right by reinvesting into the business rather than just focusing on the profits as well. I hope that makes a lot of sense. So that's going to be that one there. So we're going to rant about that a little bit, and we're going to say, most people say that, profit is sanity, and, turnover is vanity, and that's going to be their post. Now I'll have a little bit of a rant about that. And let's go and pick one more out as well. Let's go with a nice, we'll just go with red. Red's usually danger, isn't it? So we're going to talk about let's have a look. Let's do a Q&A, and we're going to do a Q&A about a plan. And so again, this is going to give you an idea of what we can do in this instance. So we'll say, what's one of the questions I often get asked about planning? So one of the questions is, do I really need a business plan? So you can say, do I need a business plan? And so we can use that as a post saying, do I need a business plan if I want to launch my business, grow my business, scale my business? And you can then answer them questions. So you can say, one of the things that we often get asked is, do I need a business plan? And the easy answer is no, because the reality is that you look at it once, you'll put a lot of work into it, and then it'll live in that bottom drawer and you'll never see it again. Unless you decide that you want to raise some capital or, go to the bank to borrow some money, get an investor, whatever it is, then you might need the business plan again. However, what I would say is a business plan is not a luxury thing to have. It's very, very much important. As you can see from what I talk about here, is the first thing that I do, one of my 5 key themes is a plan. So you do absolutely need a plan. I just don't think that you need to go into as much depth as what most business plans do, where you've got an executive summary and market penetration research and you do all the SWOT analysis. That's really cool to have when you're a more of a corporate business. They absolutely need that kind of stuff. If you're just a small growing business, then you don't need that much detail right now. You need to know a few things, and I think that's where a business plan should spend its time in these early stages. You should know who's your ideal customer, and you only want one to start with. You don't want to try and serve everybody. You want to know what it is that you're going to sell them. So what's the offer, what's the product, what it is that you're selling to these people. You need to know how are you going to get their attention, so how are you going to market to them. You want to know how you're going to convert them into a paying customer, and you want to know how much time are you going to be able to commit to this, and how much money do you need before you start running out, or how long have you got to make this happen? Because if it's short, you need to think about these things ahead, and I think that that's the kind of plan that makes much more sense for you as well. So as you can see from here, we've just done 3 quick pieces of content there, but you can literally spend 30 minutes with this sheet. And again, if you want a copy of this sheet, just send me a message and I'll send you a link to download it. But if you spend 30 minutes on this sheet, what it does give you is clarity in terms of what you're going to post about. And as you can see, because there's 7, you've got 1 for each day of the week, or you can just keep mixing it up like this as well. So you could do, this day I'm going to do that, and then Tuesday I'm going to do that, and Wednesday I'm going to do that, and then Thursday I'm going to do this. And you can mix it around as much as you want. It doesn't have to be Monday's a rant, Tuesday's a Q&A. You can mix it around all the time. What this does do for you is it allows you to make sure that you're staying consistent with content that's going to resonate with your audience, and you're not getting distracted by the latest trends and shiny stuff as well. Cool. Right. Finally, I do have a free Facebook group where I share loads of content like this and tools and things like that all the time. I will put a link, whenever you're watching this, somewhere there'll be a link for you to join to the group. Come and join me in the group. Posting stuff in there all the time. Like I said, there's strategies and tools and things like that as well. But yeah, hope that's useful and helpful, and we'll speak to you again soon.